like you said, we've been dropping the ball here and there. So I think now is a great time to really go back and, make sure all those systems and everything that we know we're supposed to be doing actually gets done.
Now we actually have an opportunity to go back to what we do best and to be real, financial advisors about this real estate thing.
Remember the people that said you can't, if you're living in mom and dad's house, you can't just make out with your girlfriend on the couch. And what's the reason for, it wasn't their total reason for, but in one of the things they said, and I was
People keep walking in on us.
Yeah.
Live from New York. Welcome to the Selling Empire Podcast. Your source for the latest real estate tips, tricks, and insights from the top producers in the industry. Whether you are new to real estate or a seasoned agent, don't miss your chance to learn from guests who have broken the mold and achieved massive success. Get ready to level up your game. Let's get started.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This is our very first episode and you are our guinea pigs.
Great.
Really appreciate you doing this work.
Pretty much. I mean, it only took us 15 minutes to get set up here, so I guess not too bad for being the first one, huh?
Well, if you count the hour that we were trying to make the camera work,
with them, 15 minutes.
Yeah, we didn't see behind the scenes. We only
exactly.
When I was doing some Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives during COVID with other people, I had some meetings that it took me forever to get the audio and the recording and the video and everything all set up, and I just have people waiting around.
we are live streaming both Instagram and Facebook at the same time too sometimes.
So it was intense.
Yes, technology failed all the time. I think our last seminar, it took us 30 minutes to get set up, and we had two people jumping on and off for those 30 minutes.
Just waiting. Yeah, right. Awesome. But yeah, guys, enough about our, tech issues or lack of tech savviness here. We're here to talk about you and just, if you don't mind, just tell us a little about yourselves and how you got started in real estate.
Hi, you want to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I started real estate in 2017. I got my license, and I had joined an office that Aaron was already working in. Aaron started many years before me, so we already had a lot of experience. I started in January and March. We went on a conference together with the company we were with. We went to all the same classes. We focused a lot on video and social media content. And we decided that when we came home, we were going to hit the ground running with social media and video. And in June, we joined as partners and started growing our business from there.
Yeah, we set out to do 9 months worth of video. We pretty much had it planned out. We were doing at least a video or two per week and make sure that we were putting it up once a week, which now looking back is so little. So but at the time, no one was really doing video at all. But every person or every conference that you go to, they'd be like video. Now you can't get away without doing video.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did something as simple as getting behind the car wheel and sometimes driving, thinking about it. We find a parking lot, sit there, and then we talk about a certain topic, and the topics could vary from.
And now, of what year was this, more or less, when you guys got started with that video journey?
2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is awesome.
So yeah, Becca's coming up on 6 years in January. I'll be coming up on 12 in the summer. I think June or July. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, we set out to do that, and like I said, it was a 9-month process, so nothing is overnight for sure. And I think right around the 7th month mark is where we actually saw the traction that happened in hundreds of videos.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, before we get into that traction, I could just to give the listeners and the viewers a quick glimpse of where you're at today. How big is your office now in terms of your productivity and compared to back then, 2017, when you guys started, what does your team look like now?
So we've always kept a small SEAL team. We've thought about growing even bigger. As far as the team, the office itself is much bigger than our individual SEAL team. So we kind of keep it. We have VAs, we have admins, we have some buyer agents. So that's grown over time. I was a solo agent. Like I said, like Rebecca said, we then joined. I was doing probably about 16 to 20 deals a year religiously, but I couldn't figure out how to get more than that. And then we pretty much tripled that in our first year together.
Awesome. So you're saying in 2017, you were around, if I can do math correctly, 40 deals a year?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the first year that we put that.
So in 2017, it was still mostly Aaron's business, mostly just Aaron's regular business. And then in 2018 is really where we started to see growth. So 2017 was a lot of marketing, a lot of putting ourselves out there, not a lot of return yet. The return started to really come in 2018. 2018, we had a lot more traction. We had a lot more visibility online, and we combined that with Zillow. And so we used that online traction in Zillow to really sort of build our business and just get the business. And then combined with that, so then we began to put systems in place where we were basically taking everyone, we made every single one of our clients our family members. And since then, we've been able to grow our business and maintain that business just using our sphere and our past clients.
So what percentage would you say your current client base is? Is it mostly referrals? Is it based on your social media videos presence on Zillow? What would you say you get most of your clients now?
So we only did 1 year of Zillow. We did Zillow for 1 year and then completely dropped it. We do no paid lead generation since then. Everything is referral for past clients. It's all referral or repeat.
I would say
based on
probably about 90% of our business is referral based.
Right. And our social media is what helps that. Really what feeds that referral base, because that's how we keep staying in front of the same people. We've gotten, we do have those people that we only know through social media that we've done business with. But a majority of it is that our social media is our tool of staying in front of people.
More often, because we stay in front of them beyond that.
Yeah, we stay in front of them in other ways too.
So when you first started those videos, where were you putting them? Was it on Facebook, with YouTube? Where did you gain that kind of traction mostly in the beginning?
Most of the traction was gained on Facebook. We put them on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. But I would say most of it was Facebook and then Instagram as far as the traction.
Yeah.
We were using Instagram in 2017, right?
Because I already had an account.
Yeah.
We actually, at first, we were both using our own personal accounts. And then at some point, someone told us that we should be joining.
Yeah, do a team account.
And we did that. And that's why, Aaron Bates Real Estate, that account is both of us. Mm-hmm. So we continued to build that, and then we had our own personal pages.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And in terms of your content, I know there's a lot of people out there that are making funny videos. I try to make funny videos. They flop most of the time, but every so often I do get a few likes here and there. What's your content strategy? Are you looking to educate, entertain? What's sort of the theme behind your channel that you see has been working best for you?
I think it's always a combination of education and entertainment. I think that most of our content is really more educational and informative. And then we throw in the entertaining pieces. What do you think?
You interviewing me? Yeah.
No, I'm just asking for your input.
No, I think so.
I don't want to jeopardize the conversation.
No, that's exactly what goes on. And I don't think we just do it, we're not consistent with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're never going to.
I think we all struggle with that, right?
Yeah. Most more than others.
Yeah. He's a lot better at that. He's actually been doing one a day for
A little while now.
yeah.
No, but I think I'm with you guys. You guys were early to the game making videos, so that's amazing. I just started this year, and I can definitely see the potential in it. I have gotten myself a few referrals just from my music videos, reels. But you guys doing it since 2017. I'm sure there's a lot of growth that's happened through that. Would you say most of the growth has been from just your, video strategy, or you mentioned that you do more outside of video to keep top of mind with your past and current clients?
Right. So I think that it's the combination of, I think overall it's just staying in front of that client base in general, whether it's staying on top of them through social media or that we send out postcards every month. We make phone calls to them. We have events and we invite them to events throughout the year. So I think it's really, and like Aaron is really awesome. He remembers everybody's birthday. He calls everybody on their birthday. But it's really just like there's multiple ways in which we really do stay on top of people, and we really are calling people and reaching out to them or inviting them to different things all the time.
So what would we say, sets you guys apart from everybody else? You guys are very successful in what you do. You're doing great out in Long Island, which we should have mentioned before. You guys are from Long Island, here in New York. And there's a lot of, noise out in the market. A lot of people just sending out postcards, making calls, being on social. What do you think is your secret sauce, if you will?
I think it's just keeping being in front of them and being first in mind is the most important thing. Like when someone is talking to somebody else and they're thinking of buying, selling, or real estate in general, they should be thinking us. If they're not thinking us, it's our fault.
So
Right.
how long did it take you to realize that? Like how many, because I know for us, we've tried, I don't know, everything is out there, right? How long did it take you to realize that that's your thing and that's what you're sticking to? Can it kind of walk us through that transition and the different things that you may have tried in the past that led you to that realization?
Yeah, I'll totally jump in on this. My awakening was when, so I played lacrosse. That's the reason why I ended up on Long Island. And we had a 10-year anniversary of winning the national championship, and me and all my teammates went out to a bar afterwards. We're sitting there at the table, getting wings, drinking beers, and everything. Everyone's like, "Oh, what are you doing now? What are you doing now?" All this other stuff. It was a big, huge reunion. And then all of a sudden, they just realized they do real estate. Now, at that point, I think I was already 5 years in the business, maybe 4 or 5.
I heard.
Around the team, doing the math in my head, and there was over $100,000 worth of transactions, commissions. Commissions, right? That sitting at that table, and they're like, "Well, we would have used you if we knew this guy's buying his second home, this guy's buying their first home, this guy decided to do real estate, decided he didn't like it." So that was the moment where I realized that I can't be a secret agent anymore. And that's kind of what I was being.
No, I think both in there. And it's really about, at least this is how I see it. It's about just the simplicity behind just telling people, "Hey, I'm in the business. This is what we do. This is what we're here to help you." And not being scared to just talk to people about it. If you were to look back at my first social media, just the way I interacted with people 5 years ago, I think I may have had 2 posts out there for the whole year about real estate. Everything else was just randomness of I didn't even know what I was posting. But yeah, to your point, people didn't know, and so they didn't buy with us.
And those hurt whenever you see somebody going through a transaction, and you're speaking to them after a while, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just bought a house 2 months ago." And we're like, "Oh great, that's good for you." Those definitely hurt.
With me.
Yeah, right. How about you, Rebecca?
What was your sort of transition?
So I think like the biggest thing that I see is the client experience. And I think that that's really important. I think that Aaron and I, we work really hard to create a positive client experience that results in repeat business, that results in referral business. So we know that, if I'm selling you a house and you love the experience because I was reaching out to you all the time, you always knew what was going on, you always knew what was next, you didn't have questions because I answered your questions before they came up in your head.
Right.
And then, so you had a really good experience as opposed to a negative experience, because anybody will tell you that like buying a house kind of sucks. It's not a fun experience. You have to do a lot of paperwork. You have to go see a lot of houses. It takes a lot of time. It's confusing. You have a lot of questions. But if we try to take that experience, which could easily be negative, and make it more positive, that's really like that's what our focus really lies in, is taking that negative experience and making it a good one, so that people not just want to buy a house again, they want to buy a house with you again. They want to tell their friends to buy a house with you. They want their parents, who they care about so much, to buy a house with you, because they know that they won't be taken advantage of or left in the dark.
Awesome. And I think that is a big thing. It's about experience. And I completely agree with that. If people work with people they like and trust, and they like and trust people who give them a good experience in their interactions. If you don't mind, could you share a few of the things that you've done to sort of create, do you have any systems or processes that you've created around this in terms of sort of elevating that client experience?
So it all lies really within the systems. It lies within what you're doing each week. What do you do the first Monday after you're under contract? What do you keep doing? How do your follow-ups go? We reach out for the follow-ups. We reach out for the information instead of just waiting for somebody to share it with us. We're not waiting on an attorney or a lender to reach out to us. We're reaching out to them and getting the update, or making sure that the next step is happening. And then we're contacting the client and making sure that they know what's happening behind the scenes and what's going to happen next. And it's all a system. So we have it in a system. We have a transaction coordinator that helps us make sure that system happens. We send out a weekly email, a weekly update email to everyone, so everybody really knows what's going on.
There's a process before that also. So like we're future pacing everything right from the beginning. So when we're sitting down at the consultation, or when the client gets under contract, we're having that conversation again, stating that, hey, this is when you're going to find out about X. And for us, it's Tuesdays. So there's a Tuesday email that goes out. That doesn't mean that they can't contact us or have questions throughout the process.
Right.
But I think one of the biggest complaints that a consumer has is that they didn't hear from their agent from contract to closing. The agent did all this work, got the contract, disappears, and then shows up to closing to get a big fat check. And so we wanted to kind of disrupt that and stuff that, and not to mention, if you're not following up anyways, that contract might not ever close.
Right.
There's so many things that can go wrong too. And we actually have the power to prevent things from going wrong sometimes. I'm sorry?
No, that's 100%. I think that's, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes that most buyers and sellers are not aware of. And, it really is our duty as agents to keep them informed, keep them abreast of what's going on, not just work in the background and just magically show up at the other end. They don't know all the work that you guys are doing to keep the deal alive. And communicating that regularly just one, set them at ease. It makes things easier for them to not stress and worry so much. But two, it shows the value that you guys bring to the table. Why are you getting paid so much for a deal? It's because of the last 30 days of work and before that you guys have been taken care of.
For sure. So you started talking a little bit about your system, and you said you have one transaction coordinator. What else do you have in place to kind of make your life easier? Is it more on the front end, trying to get business? Is it just on the transaction coordination side? Talk to us a little bit about what that looks like for you.
So we hired our transaction coordinator so that we can really remove ourselves from that process, that we don't need to be sending emails and making phone calls, so that we can put ourselves back into the business on the front end, so we can fill that, so we can really fill that up. We can spend that time filling it up instead of just managing what's already there. So that transaction coordinator she has a process that she goes through and a checklist, and it's pretty detailed. And so like part of her job is to tell us what we need to do, when we need to step in between doing the things that are actually on that checklist.
Sorry.
So really it's like her entire day is spent, making sure that every step is done. She goes into it's resin now. She goes into there and makes sure that all of our paperwork is in there all of the time. I don't ever have to go in there anymore. I just go in, I verify questions, and I get.
So, some of us are not great at doing paperwork.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Aaron
There's-
I don't even know how to
how to write an offer.
I do, but
But only if you print it out and he puts it on paper and he takes a picture and he sends it in.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do it the way we actually do it.
Right.
Evan, if it makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I have a closing on Thursday. I don't think I have anything in our CRM for that closing, and that needs to be uploaded. I should probably work on that.
Yeah.
He's terrible at that.
Having somebody who does all that for you makes such a big difference, because you just don't have to do those things that take a stupid amount of time, and it's
No return on it. Yeah, there's definitely no return on that paperwork.
right.
our use of time is better negotiating and problem solving, right? So it's not that we disconnect from the transaction. It's just we don't need to be involved in, did the
When it's
attorney
going right.
order title, or did the lender get us a commitment letter yet? Like that kind of stuff is better handed off to somebody else and paid for.
Yeah.
For sure.
So is only the transaction coordinator? Do you have any other admins or anything like that?
I know. Based on the One Beer conference that we all went to, had the big shots there, had what I thought was their personal photographers and videographers just following them around for a whole week.
I'm gonna bring one next time.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
But apart from that, TC, do you guys have any other VAs that you use, or any other, people that you've plugged into your systems to help you out?
We don't right now, but we will. We ended up having to fire and hire rather quickly in the last year. So because of that, it's kind of set us back from making the next hire. Our next hire probably will be social media. I think we decided on that. And then next would probably be ISA.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we've gone through, a lot.
People?
Yeah. It's tough getting somebody, that kind of aligns with your vision and work ethics. And, so if we're busy enough, you don't have time to be on top of them, right? That's why you need them.
Right. Exactly.
So, we sometimes would forget that they're even there, or whatever the case may be. And when we do, try to reach out to them, we're like, oh, so what have you been working on for the last week or two that we haven't really spoken on? And they're like, not so much. We're just waiting for the right. We can't really have someone that's just sitting back and waiting for work, right? We need someone that's actively doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we've definitely gone through that.
Yeah, but I think also that's been a bit on us as well in terms of training. We definitely need somebody that can help offload some of the work, but we need to train them appropriately.
Yeah, that's the
for that.
problem. Yeah.
It's finding time.
Part. We've gone through it so many times, and we've learned like recording the trainings, creating a database of training videos, being able to share them with a person, giving them an outline of what we expect of them every day. It's to get somebody going. It's like a second full-time job.
Yeah.
And it really is a challenge. And so you have to get the right person, you have to train them right, and you have to be a good leader. Your leadership has to be in place so that they can do their job. Otherwise they don't know what to do.
For sure. Yeah, and just sort of shifting over in terms of we're in a crazy market right now. All these people think since the end of the world's ending. How do you guys feel about this current market shift? What's working for you guys in terms of just keeping the ball rolling?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I think this creates opportunity. I'm excited because the last two and a half years has been so chaotic that we haven't been able to breathe. Yeah. And that's not a complaint because we did really well. But I think our strong points is like the client experience. I don't think any of our clients know, but we feel in the back end that we kind of maybe dropped the ball a couple places. They take a full client appreciation experience because we were so
drowning
in everything that was going on. Again, not complaints, but when we know when our first day off was, it was like 7 days a week, 12 to 14-hour days, like nonstop grinding. And now we're here. Now we're here, and it's completely scary. You can listen to anything, read anything, and it's like you said, the new war. It's a new war. Everything's gonna blow up. Yeah. But this is where the professionals really come out. This is a professional market. Mm-hmm. This is where the hundreds of thousands of agents that came into real estate in the last 2 years are going to be out just as fast as they came in, because a dog used to be able to sell a house. Now it can't sell a house again.
Yeah,
yes.
For sure. Yeah, and going back to your point about we probably dropping the ball here and there. Like my last two closings that we usually try to do some nice closing gifts and have something thoughtful for them, and I'm always struggling. Like, I haven't bought this person. Like, what am I gonna give them? So that whole experience is just like you said. We've been dropping the ball here and there. So I think now is a great time to really go back and make sure all those systems and everything that we know we're supposed to be doing actually gets done, because like you said, we were just drowning in one thing to another, and we just didn't have the time to really think about everything we were supposed to be doing.
No, which to Aaron's point was great. I will not complain about the last 2 years, but
definitely not.
It was quite easy back then. And I say back then, I guess it's so far long ago, but it's only a year since. But I do think it's all about getting back to the basics, back to getting to focus on the clients, getting to, like Rebecca was saying, giving them a great experience so that they remember you, they think about you. And that next time they're, on Lily or Uncle Sam wants to sell the house, they think of you.
Yeah.
Right. And, I think also the other piece to that is that when everything was moving so fast and everything was kind of chaotic, because of just the nature of the market we were in, it was almost like you were sort of disconnected from your clients. You didn't have that same level of connection that you always get. And then now that we don't have to move so unbelievably fast, and we don't have to make every conversation about, well, should I go 50 or 100 over asking price? Like, which one? You're like, I don't know. Really? the number, right?
Let's flip a coin, right?
So now it's like, now we actually have an opportunity to go back to what we do best,
Right.
and to be real, like, financial advisors about this real estate thing. And also to really connect with people and to even get to know them even better and understand their needs and help them meet their needs in getting a home, not just getting an accepted offer on a house.
It would even get back to where you have to start negotiating again too. I've noticed just in the last week alone, it's almost like it's a fault.
Nobody knows how to negotiate anymore.
Right.
Like when you're on the listing side and you have an offer coming in, it's like they're just sort of like there's no conversation. It's just like, here's okay, well, you know,
no, and then you counter. So when you counter somebody, usually a negotiation is a two-sided.
Yeah.
It's two-sided, right? But you counter them, and all of a sudden they're like, "Well, we'll see what the buyer wants to do." I don't know. You came back with a number, like. You came back with a number. It wasn't even best and final. Like,
Yeah.
just because I countered.
When was the last time in the last few months there was no best and final, right?
right. You know, so we get back to the old ways of doing it again, which is really, it's better. And you know, the buyers are going to be happier because I think we have a lot of buyers who just felt like, see a house offer, see a house offer, see a house offer. Oh, we got it accepted. Yay, let's go. And then they're like, but they never had time to really think about if they actually wanted that house, or if that price was the right price to pay for that house. It's the price that got them the accepted offer, but was it really the best price for the house? Like,
or wasn't the best house for them? And that actually, I just saw that statistic the other day. It was so high too. The amount of people that bought a house in the last 2 years were disappointed in the house that they actually bought.
That's just changing, yeah. And one of the other things too, and I think, you know, with the market now is that you can actually protect our clients too, right? So you can go now, if you're making offers, you can actually offer appraisals, you can offer full inspection, full contingencies and everything, right? Where before you had to go above and beyond with no appraisal, no inspection, no anything. So it's like, you know, the saying goes, you got to choose your heart, right? Before you had to overpay, but you were getting a good interest rate. Now you're overpaying on the interest rate, or, you know, comparison, but you're actually getting a decent deal. You're getting your protections in place, all your contingencies in place. So it's really, you have to pick your heart. And when you're getting the house you want, you're getting all the protection you need. You know, it's probably worth paying a little extra into your interest rate, and you can always refinance down the line, but you're actually in a place that makes sense for you.
right. And you have time. You know, if you don't have 2 hours to see a house for 30 seconds and decide everything. You have time now. Like, you can go back to a house. You can think about it. You can, you know, kind of like see how you really feel about things instead of just reacting. I think we were all in reaction mode for too long.
Yeah,
People were buying out like they were buying a T-shirt off a shelf.
Yeah, it was definitely that fear of missing out. You know, people wanted to get in, thinking that they would be best. But as we all know, you know, real estate's not going anywhere, so it'll be around for a while. So we're definitely shifting into, I think, a healthier market, not just for buyers, but for sellers too. It's, you know, it's resetting expectations and resetting to a more healthy market. I think it's good for everybody. You know, and in terms of, you know, I'm sure you guys as well are getting a lot of objections, a lot of worry from both buyers and sellers about current conditions. How are you handling that? I know buyers on one hand are scared of interest rates, are scared that we're going to have a crash. Sellers, on the other hand, don't want to sell because they themselves can't move anywhere for the same reasons. How are you guys handling these objections that we all keep hearing?
I think it first comes down to motivation, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Why are you doing this? Okay. The second thing is, forget about interest rates. Does that one thing mortgage, the monthly payment makes sense for you now? And how long are you living in the house? So if you plan on flipping this house in 2 years, maybe it's not a good investment for you now. But if you plan on growing a family in here, or you plan on staying here for 5 to 10 years, real estate's always going to keep on gaining equity. We have cycles. It's supposed to be a 10-year cycle. We just didn't hit that cycle quick enough. So realistically, like last time that we had a major meltdown was 2008. And so 2008 to 2012 were not the best years in real estate, depending on who you talk to. So then after that, we've had this accelerated market, and then we've had a low inventory market for way before the pandemic. And then all of a sudden you get a thing like COVID, and it accelerates everything like we're on speed. And then you have a market that doesn't even make sense when you're getting appreciation of 15 to 25%, depending on what market you're in, some even higher than that. So it's got to come down. It's got to slow down. That doesn't create a crash. We don't even have enough houses to sell. We're so low right now, it's ridiculous. It's just the demand is not there that was there a year ago. So really, I think it's those three questions asking, what is your motivation? And maybe not putting it in that terms, but why are you buying or selling? 2, can you afford that monthly payment? Because if you could afford that today, that monthly payment is probably going to go down later on, assuming that we might be able to refi.
Or your income is going to go up, and then that monthly payment will feel easier, even if it stays the same. Because let's say like we could be in a situation where rates go up more or they go down, right? Any of those things could happen. But if you're comfortable with this monthly payment today, and you're in a situation where your income is more likely to go up than go down over the next, 5, 10, 20 years, then it's only going to get easier for you to afford that rate. But then there's also like the people who are afraid to buy now because the rates are high, but what if the rates go up? Or what if they stay the same for the next 2 or 3 years? Are you going to keep doing what you're doing? Do you want to keep doing what you're doing? Or would you just rather like swallow the payment, do it now, adjust your life, make it work for yourself, and get yourself into that home? Because I think all of us would agree that if you're looking at 2 more years in renting an apartment, or you could spend those 2 years in a house where you have a yard and you can do whatever you want and you can grow your life in the direction that you want to, that's the better choice.
I played that because you pointed out about the house with the yard. Already assuming that they don't have a yard. No,
Well, that's one of the reasons why renting to buying is a yard.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking about that, and well, maybe I actually think about somebody else. Remember the people that said you can't, if you're living in mom and dad's house, you can't just make out with your girlfriend on the couch. And it was the reason for, it wasn't their total reason for but like that's one of the things they said, and I was like,
like people keep walking in on us.
Yeah. My little brother walked in on us or something. At least here,
That's a great reason to move.
Yes. Buy a house so you can hang out on your own couch whenever you want.
Exactly.
It sounds like I have some fun experience here.
Yeah.
Traumatized there already.
No, but to your point, and rent, it's not like rent's getting any cheaper. Rent is going to continue to go up too, right? And that every year your rent goes up. Or most people's rents go up at least 3%. And usually when you have a mortgage, they kind of don't. Whether you're kind of locked into that unless your taxes or insurance goes up. But that's a different story. But
It's more predictable than
it's
renting.
definitely a lot more predictable, and you're paying yourself versus paying somebody else.
Exactly. If you're paying rent, you're paying a mortgage already. It's just not your mortgage; it's somebody else's. So why not shift that around and pay yourself a little bit? I just want to ask, in this same topic, one more question before we start to wrap up. I know we talked about buyers and sellers and the objections there, but what would you guys say to just new agents that joined in the last, 2 years that are used to the Wild West that it was 2021 or 2020, that are used to just closing, just magically happening, stepping into this market that do in fact want to continue this career and do in fact want to take that next step and grow their business, what would be your advice to them?
I think focusing on some of those very basic things that have always worked and making them a part of your business, picking up the phone, loving on your clients, having as many conversations as possible. Those are really like the very basic and free things that you can do to build a business. Outside of all the complex things, all the expensive things, you either pick up the phone and have conversations, and it costs you nothing but your time. And if it doesn't build your business, it might warm your heart a little bit. It might feel good to have conversations with people.
For sure.
But
So my takeaway from that
it
was
works.
love on your clients, and it might warm their hearts.
I think what Rebecca was saying was going back to basics, but I think the one thing I think you should always do all the heavy lifting up front. So anybody that's been doing it for 2 years, maybe this is the time that they do that. If they could reevaluate their business and set it up for success later on. And that's loaded. So there's
For sure.
but like obviously we all have to continue to do business, so you got to do prospecting. So that's got to be scheduled. You have to be doing it.
So you need to manage your time.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Time management, and pick up the phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Contacts leads to closings, leads to contracts, leads to conversion.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think Rebecca said it best is, just focus on those things that have been proven to work. Those simple things that we can all do that are free. No need to spend thousands on civil leads or all these other fancy gimmicks, like microphones that don't work on our side. Just focus on things that work and be consistent. I think that's a big thing. Be consistent, show up every day, and love on the clients that you do have. Those are the ones that will get you through these hard times. If you forget them, they'll forget about you.
Damn it.
Yeah, very easily.
Awesome, guys. So just to wrap this up, and because of the time, I do want to get to our last 4 questions of the day here. Just to give a little wisdom to our listeners here. I'm going to call these the famous 4. I don't have a better name for them now, but eventually we will.
I'm sure I'll get sued for that. But
Hey, they're borrowing the name from another podcast whose name will not be said, but they know who they are. And question number 1, if you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
Use my CRM from the beginning.
it's great.
How about you, Aaron?
That, and I would also create systems and processes around from the very beginning. Do the heavy lifting up front. I was getting 30 to 50 leads a week for free. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
Yes, that hurts.
we paid for 30 or 50 leads a week, and we didn't know what to do with them, so that hurts even more. So for agents that have been in the business for a while but might be selling a little stuff, what advice would you give them?
Block out your time and pick up the phone.
All right.
Why are they stuck? No, you get your plateau. You got to do something different. You double down on what you're good at, or what's creating the business, and figure out what you need to do to create more business.
Awesome.
And make it higher. Because that could be the reason why they're plateauing.
Yeah.
Good answer. And then in the same light, for veterans, those all-stars that are out there that again are also feeling stuck or maybe just want to get the business to the next level, what piece of actionable advice would you give them?
That's where I think it goes back to systems and support. Like that's when you really need to make a hire, and you really need to focus on having systems in place or building them. Because if you have the system in place and you have somebody else who gets paid less to run the system, you can grow your business.
That just made me think of what you're worth hourly. So I think you need to know what you're worth hourly. And I think actually at the conference that we were just at, somebody on stage didn't break that down. Spring broke that down. Somebody, a great friend of mine, said it to me many years ago. I was sitting in an empty open house. Those happen. And so a person in a 2-hour span, he said, "What are you worth hourly?" I couldn't answer that. I had no clue. And so he came up with a number for me. And so from that point on, I always started thinking in that direction, because we don't get paid hourly, but a 9-to-5 person does, and they know what they make per year. So we should know that too. So that activity that's a $15 or $20 an hour per hour, you got to hire somebody